What's happening, family? Dr. Joe here. Hope each of you are well and blessed. I'm excited about tonight. I'm so thankful that you are tuning in with us on tonight to hear this amazing story by my amazing guest. I hope you guys enjoyed on last evening the presentation that we had about reset. So many of you all are flooding our inboxes, emails, messaging. We have a lot of work to do to pull this off, but we're determined to pull this off at the top of the year. We were able to go through that on last night. If you did not get a chance to see that particular presentation, go to Journey Life TV YouTube and be certain that you see and that you take a look at November the 20th. That was on last evening. You'll be able to see it there. I'm sure it is still existing. Today, I've got a special guest. It is what we call a village chat. Village Chat is a platform that we use to basically have conversations with individuals who are a part of our village. Sometimes it can be participants of the village. Sometimes it can be 40-day turn-up participants, journey participants. It can be coaches, super leaders, people in some capacity of leadership, or it can be individuals from the past. And I've got all of the above within this particular person. This is an individual who has deep roots in our village, and not only was she a participant, but she was a coach. She was everything that we have ever needed her to be. But also, she was our first inductee of the Village Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to some and introduce to others our special guest, Tiffany Phoenix Adams. How you doing, Attorney Tiffany?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Dr. Joe?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you for agreeing to be here. I always love when to talk with you, and I'm just glad you are here. How you feeling on tonight?
I feel great. I've heard about this new reset you got coming out, so
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here. Everybody's excited.
I know so many people are excited, and I can't wait for us to kind of unearth it. But
Yeah.
let's take some time. Let's start with you. Tell us what you do, where you're from, who you be, all that stuff.
All right. My name is Tiffany Adams. I'm a criminal defense attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have my own practice, the Adams Firm. Been in business for 10 years, and we also do personal injury. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, but I've been in Georgia now for 30 years. So I'm a peach.
What are the typical type of clientele that you have? To give us like some typical type of individuals who reach out to you, say, "Hey, I need some help."
So anyone charged with a crime, and that's any type of crime. So we handle very serious charges such as murder, child molestation charges, armed robbery charges, all the way down to simple possession charges. So anything criminal in nature, we can assist.
And being an African American woman, you got your own practice. That's huge, Tiffany. How does that make you feel?
It's amazing to know that it's only 2% of attorneys are African American women, and to have a successful practice for the last 10 years, and to employ 3 employees. I have my mom working for me as my paralegal, my sister-in-law is my assistant, family friend is my legal assistant. So it's amazing. We get to do great work here. So it's amazing.
Being an attorney in this space, I'm certain that you service a lot of our people.
Yes.
Do Black people really have it as bad as we hear? How is the justice system skewed against our people from your vantage point, or what are you seeing?
I think the biggest thing that people can see is the YSL trial that's been publicized. We see a lot of injustices occurring there. I was just talking on my show the other night. Fulton County has a $55 million budget for their prosecutor's office to send people to jail, right? So it's like you're fighting against that. The system is unfair. And
Mm.
it's just such a passion of mine to be able to help people because they don't have any clue how to fight and help themselves. And sad to say, a lot of kids now are getting charged with very serious crimes. So I don't really know the true statistics, but I would say at least 3 times a week in Georgia, a child is being sentenced to life in prison. We just had 2 young boys sentenced to 320 years in Douglas County last week. Not my clients, but still a news story. So it's very sad, very sad.
People who reach out to you, are there individuals who may hear you on the internet or know friends of friends or family members? Is that how most of your clientele come to you?
Yeah, I started as a public defender in Fulton County for 8 years. So I have a lot of referrals from time I represented people back then, because unfortunately, once you're in the system, sometimes it's easy to continue to get in the system. So there'll be repeat customers, and then referrals, word of mouth is how I get most of the clients.
Got it. Oh, that's great. Well, near the end of our conversation, we're going to take some time to talk about your website, how people can find you, all that good stuff. So let's keep on talking about you now. You are a game changer, if I'm not mistaken, right? Game changer. Right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. 150 pounds, Tiffany.
Yes, yes.
So take us back to when you started the process. Where were you? Your frame of mind, your health. Talk to us about that and what led you to wanting to be a part.
So started 2020, because I started with your process in July, but we started pre-work a couple months before that. But we were in the middle of COVID. So starting that year, I had a best friend that was in a coma dealing with health issues, and I was emotional eater. It was just a very stressful time in life with work. I was already 330 pounds going into the new year.
Yeah.
And I remember making a post on Facebook, I think like February, asking for a seamstress because I was starting to bust out of my suits. I was at like a 24, and I'm like, I can't buy size 26 suits because they're never cute. So I was looking for somebody to do that. A couple weeks after that, the world shut down with COVID. So I was in the house. And so after a couple of months, things really slowed down, and I didn't have time to focus on other people. So I was just focusing on me. And I was filming a video for the youth at church, and I guess finally looked at myself. And it's just so weird how it happened, because I'm in the mirror every day, but I guess not paying attention.
Yeah.
So I was very displeased, and I was like, you got to get on the scale. Like, things are getting bad at this point. My hips are hurting, my knees are hurting, my back's hurting. Like, even when I was standing up to wash dishes, I would be leaning on the countertop because I would have pain in my back.
Yeah.
And so I got on the scale. This was probably like May, I think 18th. I got on the scale and I was 375.5. And I honestly wanted to die, because I was like, oh Lord, like you, now you are the joke. You're a biscuit away from 400. You have done so much damage. The body is like rolls and black in between the row. It was just disgusting. And I was so disappointed in myself. And I felt like I had let myself go too far to come back, because I was like, how is this, as I'm looking at myself in the mirror, going to look like this? Right. I didn't see it at that point. So I was just like, you know what, Lord, just take me now, because I didn't messed up too bad. I can't come back from this. And then I cried for a little bit. I did have some money, right? So I thought maybe I could go down to Columbia. We on COVID. I could just slide down to Columbia right quick and get a little surge, right? But I was like, no, I told myself I would never do that.
Yeah.
I had a friend that did do gastric and just had terrible results from it. So I was like, I'll never do that. And then I just kind of got into pep talk, and I started fussing and talking in the mirror and praying and saying, you did this. Like, you are the reason you're here. So it's up to you to undo it. So we are going to sign up for whatever we sign up for, and we are going to commit. And I'm going to sign up like it's school, and I'm going to look at this like, give it a good year at whatever you sign up for. And so after I got through crying, wiping my face, I pick up my phone and open Facebook, and you are there.
Wow.
For the 40-day turn up, which I have known you since 06.
Right.
Salem. Heard about the 40-day, but I had only heard people saying, oh, I lost 20 pounds, I lost 30. I'm like, I need the gusto, because I got 100 more to lose, right? So but when I saw the flyer, I was like, this is it, because I've been praying, Lord, send me something. And I saw that, and I said, I didn't know what it was. I just signed up immediately. And I did remember hearing that it started with some juice. So
Right.
I don't Google, and I was like, Dr. Joe Juice. And I found the website, but then I didn't know how many to order, because I'm like, forget this process. I'm going to start today. So I sent an email to the email on the site asking, how many juices do I need to order? I want to start now. And I didn't know I was emailing you. It says, wait, Tiffany. And I was like, okay, I'll wait. But I did try to start making small changes at that point. I started walking, because everything was closed. So I started going to walking outside. And at this point, 375 is a lot to move. So I really could do like 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. And I was having to stop in between that 10 minutes. But neighbors are like, stopping, honking, you can do this, you can do this. Already the encouragement was coming. So I just kind of made slight changes to my diet, which really weren't big changes once I started the process and really learned about food. But I lost like 16 pounds before we started the process. So I weighed in day one when we had our never again pictures, 359.4. So but it took off rockets once we started your process, because clearly you have the golden key to this.
Well, I'm so happy that you got results, and we'll talk about what you were able to do. But how did it feel when you started the process and you started to see yourself shrink? How did
Mhm.
that make you feel? Because I've been there, and it's so liberating. I don't know of many things in life that's more empowering than what I felt when I was transforming.
Yes.
How did it make you feel?
It's amazing. So, the pre-work sessions, I remember
Yeah,
the first two you had with us. I think you were calling them fireside chats then, and
yeah,
they were habits and cravings.
yeah, yeah.
Just to hear you talk about how, and I was walking while listening.
Mhm.
So just to hear how habits were created and how they can be broken. And then the craving one telling us how to recognize the cues and all of that. It was just eye-opening. And
Right.
then I'm walking and the weight starting to come off. So my shadow, when I first started walking, is covering up like the whole street, right? So it's just so
Wow.
cute. The shadow shrinking when you're walking outside as you're getting smaller. Now instead of 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back, I can do 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back. Now, then it became, oh, we're going to walk and I can get to a mile and then come back with a mile. And so it was just, it became me versus me because every day it was a better version of me. Like when I started the process, I had a friend, I would post on Facebook after graduation and they would say, every time I see you, you're smaller. I'm like, I literally am. I'm
Right.
literally
Right. It's the
in this
truth.
process. I'm losing weight daily.
Yeah.
It was amazing to actually do something that was enjoyable and that worked was amazing because I had signed up for everything because I have been 305 since I was like 19, 20.
Mhm.
So you're talking about 20 years of being in
Right.
the 300s, right?
Right.
Maybe dipping down to 280. So I didn't sign up with quick weight loss twice, paid them $6,000 every time. I
Mm.
didn't sign up with Weight Watchers. I didn't
Mm.
sign up the Atkins diet. I bought that book, keto, like everything I have tried. But by the time I hit week three in your process,
Mm. Mm.
I knew I was calling everybody I knew and told them to sign up because look,
This
I ain't
is
there
it.
yet, but this is it. This is it.
Now, I'm gonna tell you what I noticed with you. I noticed how every element of your life changed.
Yes.
Your confidence, and not that you ever lacked it, but I'm just talking about like it was amplified.
Yes.
Your business began to soar. It's like when you worked on you, every part of your life shifted. Like, would you agree to that?
Yes, it was. It's like becoming my best self allowed me to first going to court. Like going into 2020, when I would go to court, I had to get there 15 minutes early because to look presentable to myself, I got on Spanx and like leggings under my clothes so I could have the silhouette look, right? We don't want any rolls and stuff showing. So I got all that on. So I'm hot. So
Yeah.
I got to get there early so I can go to the bathroom. And plus I didn't, it's a lot to walk 375 in somewhere carrying your work stuff. So I got to go to the bathroom early, wipe all the sweat off, get back presentable, then go into court, put comfortable shoes on. It was just so much I was having to do to look the way I want to be able to look. Now, when I jump out the car, I can just walk right in and go. It doesn't matter what's out of place because it still looks good, right?
Right.
So it just gave me confidence in the courtroom. I could move around better. I wasn't I had confidence, but I didn't. Sometimes when you're speaking to people, you're worried if your weight is giving
Yeah.
them a opinion about yourself, right? They're like, oh, she's big, she's probably lazy, she's probably this, and I wasn't, but people have that perception, and I think people have that perception. Like I wouldn't even walk around the mall eating an ice cream cone because I think people are like, she don't need that, no way.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
stuff that you have in your head when you're overweight that way. So
Yeah.
signing just it opened the door for that. I could fly, travel, no more
Yeah.
seatbelt extended on the plane. So I'm
Yeah.
like everywhere. Somebody want to go, let's go, because it's not a sad experience anymore, right? You're stressed when you're traveling heavy like that because it's like, who's sitting next to me? Am I on them? Am I too close to the person next to me? When you're going to concerts, the seats are too tight. I
Yeah.
had just bought a home in 2019 and I told my designer when I was like, get furniture that's wide. I got wide hips. I need everything wide. Y'all, I even asked her, could you extend the shower? Can you make the
Yeah.
shower bigger? She was like, no, Tiffany, we can't. But now two people can get in the shower. Like it's just life changing.
That
Life
is
changing.
amazing. And there are a lot of people out there watching who can have the same thing.
Yeah.
And there are thousands of people who've come through the process who
Yeah.
can echo say, yeah, that's how it was with me. And that's the beauty about I believe our approach, showing people the spiritual element of it, it's really about, it starts there. The weight and the look are all byproducts of what you've done. Now, you're wearing a shirt, and I want people to see it. It doesn't say, it says 150.
Yes,
You
150
lost a hundred.
pounds.
Tell us about the lowest, like how long did it take
Yes.
from when you came through? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so when I weighed in, started the process, so I count, 375, May 18th. November 18th, 6 months later,
Right.
I was 100 pounds down. Your process was like boom, boom, boom. So week 1, I think I lost like 8 pounds. Week 2, I think I lost another 6. Now week 3, that's when you introduced the 80-20.
Yep. Yeah. You remember that?
I
Yeah.
was still holding on to too much meat. So I think I lost 50 pounds that week. So on Saturday when you said it, I said, "Oh, I lost 2 pounds." You were like, "Tiffany, no, you,
Yeah.
nope, you doing something wrong." And I was like, "You don't be calling me out. We got 400 people." But by the end of that session, I knew what I wasn't doing right. I wasn't getting enough water. I wasn't getting this in. So I made those adjustments, and it just kept coming. So I never stopped. So we graduated. I think I was down 33 pounds. At the time that we graduated, like mid-August. My birthday happened in the process, but I was so focused. I said I'll celebrate after graduation.
Yeah.
Had a little weekend celebration. That Monday, I was right back on it. So before the journey, I think I lost like another 25 pounds before the journey started. So now when I come into the journey, I'm the biggest loser, right? Because I never stopped. So
Right.
I got it going. So 6 months to be 100 pounds down. And that anniversary of 4 years was yesterday. So it was to see those pictures and everything pop up. And I remember back then, you used to say post, 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 because those timelines come up and you're like,
And
oh
then,
my goodness. So the first 100 came off in 6 months. And then by another 6 months, I had lost the other 50. So in a year, a month, and 12 days, I had lost 150 pounds.
a year.
Man, you can't tell me nothing, Dr. Joe. I had a hot girl summer out this world.
That is amazing.
Down from 375 to down 120, 225. That was the smallest I had been in my adult life. So now I'm back in. I had to figure out where to shop. I had to get a stylist because I don't know what to wear. Last time I was this small, I was in high school. So I don't know where
How
to shop.
did that make you feel to know that you combated? That was like David and the giant Goliath. That's what you slayed essentially, because people who've never struggled with obesity don't understand the cloud of all of us who've been obese and struggle with it. It's a cloud. And for you to hit like a marker like 100 pounds and then 150 pounds, you feel like you're Superwoman.
Yeah, like you can do anything.
It's like, and that's the key, because it's like, man, if I can do this, what can't I do?
Right.
Because when I look at my life, Tiffany, that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Hardest ever.
Was to make up my mind that this is what I want. And you know about that. Now, all right, so you came through in 2020, Game Changers, great group of people. Shout out to all the Game Changers out there. Shout out to all the groups, right? You came through, you went through the journey, you had success. Did you become a leader?
Yes, I did. So graduated the journey, I want to say November and of 2020. And I started my first leadership group that January. So I became a leader and I led 8 groups. So it was just important to me to stay connected. And because I was still on my own journey and I didn't want to leave you.
Right.
Get me out. So I'm
Right.
coming back. So whatever I got to do to be hearing Dr. Joe's voice every week and hear these lives and hear this pre-work, because every time you speak, I learn something new, even though I've been connected to the process for 4 years. Like, and this is a battle. It's still a battle because I'm unchanging something I was for 20 something years. That's hard to do. It's hard to do.
It's very hard. So you went through the turn up, you went through the journey, you became a leader. And I know it was easy for you to relate to your groups because you've been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Because not many people gonna come in bigger than 375. Like you might have a few, but that's the one we on the end.
So when they will come up with their issues, concerns, you could relate to them, but you could also see, and this is not a slight at our participants, but a lot of times they hide behind things that they really believe, like, oh, I can't do it, and they just don't understand it. And you having been there can say, you know.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And I think we all have those hangups and problems because I remember the never again. I didn't
Right.
want to post it. So I was in my group as a participant, like, oh my God, I can't post that I'm 359. Like I can't say that to our small little village, right? And
Right.
one of my participants said, you walk out the door like that every day. We already seen it. I was like, dang,
Good
you're
point.
right.
Good point. Yeah.
Well, you good
Yeah.
point. Let me go ahead and post this to get to work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now let's switch gears because this is the part that I don't want to leave off the table because I don't want people to think that that people who come through the 4-day turn up never have problems because
Yeah.
there is no process or program
Mhm.
that is insulated from falling off.
Correct.
And I want to talk about some of maybe some hiccups that you had. Did you get to a point to where maybe you weren't as engaged? Talk to us about some of the failures that you experienced and when that happened and where you were in your mind.
Okay. So the biggest thing I can think of, and you say this in the debriefing, is don't stop, right? Don't
Yeah.
let your foot off your gas until you're done. I
Right.
didn't do that. So when I got down to about 213, now mind y'all, coming from 375, 213 is bad, right? I went from
All right.
running all outside to dang, she bad, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a girl summer, went to Jamaica, went to Greece. I was just traveling and eating and drinking, thinking that, I've done the work, I got here, that means it's gonna stay here. And that's not the case. so,
Yeah.
so, gain, 20 pounds or so. But I was able to do what you said about come home, reset, reset. So I would come home, I would do a water fast, and then I would just get back on plan.
Yeah.
And that worked for a little while, right? And
Yeah.
then you can kind of stay where you need to be. But then the further I got away from that point, like as the years progressed, I started playing too much, thinking, oh, I can just always reset. I can always just jump right back on, right? Then instead of being 10 pounds up, now you're 20 pounds up, 30 pounds up. And
Yeah.
I found myself just recently up to 269. And I was like, oh, Lord. That's
Mm.
because for somebody who had been through something, that's just
Yeah.
30 pounds away, right? So it sounds like a lot to other people, but you know how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a couple of rough weekends of binge eating and you back there. So I just was
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
God, no, we can't do that. So I totally reset. And so before, a lot of times I kept saying, I can't find the motivation. I'm not 375 anymore. I can't find that Tiffany anymore. I
Yeah.
can't find that. And I had to finally realize it's never left. It's inside. And
Mhm.
you just got to really focus and string together more than a few days of discipline and consistency together. So after homecoming that Monday, I started with you all, got my detox juice from Farmer Fred. I'm glad everybody loves me because I hit them up last minute. Let me slide to get some juice from Farmer Fred. I can start with y'all tomorrow. So I got my juice, I did
Yeah.
my detox, and I just got back on it and reset. I mean, once you learn it, you always know it.
Yeah.
It's just about if you're going to make the sacrifice and go back to it. So I went back to it, and this time around with you all, 25 pounds down. So I'm not
Salute.
far away from this. So we're just going to
Yeah.
keep running. I
Yeah.
now come for new goals and new heights. So it's amazing. It's
Well,
amazing.
I'm so proud of you. And I don't know if you remember, but we did some, well, I don't think it was in the year that you were in, but I did a class called The Seasons and Cycles of Transformation. It was called
Yes.
Shock, Results,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Failure, and
Mm-hmm.
Growth. And what I was trying to let people understand is you can't grow until you fail.
Yes.
So for you to have come through the 4-day turn up
Mhm.
journey, you lost 150 pounds, you gained it back, but then you picked yourself up and you did something about it. That is a lesson that only failure could have taught you.
That's true.
You-
That's true. Yeah.
Because now you found the motivation. And you're right. Now, I want to say two things and I want to hear what you think about it. There are a lot of folks who've been through the process and then then they become removed. And when they're removed from the process and they're not hearing the teachings and they just kind of get away from, they slowly glide and they slip away. And then what they're finding themselves is going back to who they were.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then going back to who they were is what brings the weight back
Yep.
because the same old habits.
Yes.
I'm not as sharp, I'm not as motivated. So the whole concept of why we're doing reset is because we got thousands of people who've come through the process and they've lost their way and they need to come back in. And I just believe that your story resonates to the spirit that we're trying to manifest. When you heard about Reset, what were your thoughts about it?
Yes.
Yeah,
People are always inboxing, Tiffany, can you help me this? Can you do this? Can you do a little reboot? Because like I keep my old participants that I used to
yeah,
lead group me. So we're all in one together. So I
right,
call
right,
it a reboot. And we would reboot throughout the year, but I'm not Dr. Joe.
right,
So
right,
people
right.
need the pre-work. They need to hear you. They need to hear the mind because it starts in the mind.
It
Like
does.
without the pre-work, nobody will be successful on this process
I
because
agree.
you would just be handing us a pamphlet to read and go. But the pre-work is what does it. So
Yeah,
I am excited because I think it's exactly what the village has been calling for.
it
I
is.
love that every process you are growing with it, doing new things and giving the people what they need. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
perfect and right on time. And I think for me, the biggest, like when I slayed my dragon, I thought it was gone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't. So I said death to the old me. I thought that person was gone, but no, that
Right,
person's still there.
right.
And you would say something all the time, and I always feel like you were looking through the computer at me when you say some of y'all are just a smaller version of your old self. And
Hmm.
that's what it was starting to get to. I was getting back to the old habits,
Yeah,
putting so much stuff before, meal prepping, not focusing on, not being consistent and disciplined. And it just really takes not being perfect,
yeah,
but focusing every day on being as consistent and disciplined as you can, and you'll get there and stay there.
yeah. That is great. Well, we're so proud of you. The Hall of Fame. You're the first
Thank you.
person.
Thank you. Yay.
That
I'm a
is,
leader now, so I'm very
I'm
competitive.
kind
So
of,
thank you,
I'm
all
kind
of
of
it.
envious, you know. But let me tell you something. No one is more deserving than you. I've watched you grow. I'm so proud of you. And I want people, I want to take some time to talk about, and as you talk about this, because I want y'all to know Tiffany is my personal attorney that I call on. I have the utmost belief in her. Not only do I use her myself, but I've sent people that I pastor to her and I trust them. So if you're in the Atlanta area, if you know of someone in the Atlanta area, and Tiffany, the individuals who maybe didn't see the introduction, I want you to go back over your law firm and who you service.
All right. So Tiffany Adams, the law firm is The Adams Firm. You can look us up online, THE Adams Firm. And we are based in Atlanta, but I practice all over Georgia. So I have cases in South Georgia, North Georgia. You call me, need me, pay me, I'm coming. Yes,
Tiffany, is this correct?
yep, that's it.
AdamFirm.com. Okay.
And we do personal injury as well, slip and falls, car accident cases. And you can find us online. And I also have a new YouTube page. It's the Fit Lawyer ATL. Thank you. So you
Fit
can find
Lawyer ATL.
me on.
Uh-huh.
The Fit
All right.
Lawyer ATL. And I've been practicing now for 19 years. I started out at the public defender's office and I was there for 8 years before going into private practice.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a lawyer since I was 4. So this is what God put me on earth to do. And I'm doing that. And it's amazing to be able to do that and do it better now that I'm not 375. I can move faster. I can take more cases on, have more energy. So
Is that
yes,
correct?
yep,
Well,
that's
they
me.
can hit you, they can get you on the website, theadamsfirm.com.
Yes,
They can get you on YouTube, the Fit Lawyer ATL.
yes.
What about IG,
I everything else on social media is the Fit Lawyer ATL.
Fit Lawyer ATL? Now, you talk to us about what you talk about on the Fit Lawyer ATL because you do a lot of really cool things. Tell the people about that.
Yeah, so just kind of explaining to the public the criminal process. We'll pick celebrity cases like YSL has been some of my commentary lately, and talking about what goes on in court and explaining it in layman's terms to
That's
people and
cool.
having a little fun doing it. So it's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna give you a platform because a lot of people, let's say, for instance, a person is driving.
Okay.
They get pulled over by a police officer.
Mhm.
A police officer tries to do a field sobriety test or wants them. What do you do?
No, don't do anything. So if you are ever pulled over while you're driving and an officer approaches the vehicle and says, "Hey, I smell alcohol. Where are you coming from? Church?" And you don't smell alcohol. Like, if you want to say anything, say church. Say church. Okay. church. And then, but don't say anything. Don't
Okay.
say anything. Give them your license. You have the right to remain silent. And
Mm.
if people exercise that more, we could get more cases dismissed. So don't provide any information, where you're coming from, how much you had to drink. Don't give any of that information. I don't care if he can smell it all over you. Say, I don't want to talk.
So
Give
basically,
them the
what I'm sorry, go ahead.
Give him the license. They may ask you to do field sobriety tests. They are voluntary and you can refuse them. So refuse them. Do not do those tests. And people tell me, if I don't do the test, I'm going to jail. I'm like, well, you did the test. What happened? I went to jail. Okay.
Right,
Go
right.
listen to a lawyer.
Right.
Don't do the test. Don't blow in any breathalyzer. Don't consent to anything. No consent to any searches. Don't consent to any blood draw. Say no, 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 no. If they get a warrant and get it, fine, but you haven't given them any evidence beforehand, and I can get the case thrown out, hopefully. So
So you hush,
hush.
and we as Americans, it's within your right.
Yes.
Let them take you to the station. Call Tiffany.
Yes, call me. And we get that thing dismissed. Every DUI where people listen to me and do not talk, we get them dismissed, the prosecutor mad, but it is what it is. That's how you can get around it. So we'll be talking about that kind of thing. What to do when you get a phone call. A lot of parents are getting calls these days when their kids are getting in trouble. And the detective says, hey, we're investigating something. Can you bring them in to give a statement? No. Call a lawyer first. We never go in and provide statements.
Silent.
Yes.
Call your attorney. It's within your rights, and that's how you fight it legally in the right way.
Yes.
And they'll tell you anything to get you to talk.
Yes. Yes. Oh, just come in and help us. We don't have a warrant or anything. We just want to just try to look for more information. There's always to just get your statement down. And police officers legally can lie to you during interrogation. They can say, I got you on tape. We saw you coming out the store with the boxes. They can lie, and then you confess, and they never had any of that, and you told on yourself. So
and then they use that against you in the court of law.
Yep. That's every time.
That is great. The AdamsFirm.com.
Yes.
All right. Reach out to Tiffany. I have worked with her personally before. I've sent people to her. She's a great attorney, as well as you can follow her on all social media platforms, The Fit Lawyer ATL. Tiffany, thank you so much for your story. Thank you for being with me. Love you. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany Phoenix Adams, The Fit Lawyer.
Thank you for having me so much, Dr. Joe, and thank you so much for this process.
Thank you.
It's amazing, life-changing.
Thank you for being here. All right. Salute. All right. Bye-bye. All right. We've got Tiffany Phoenix Adams. What a great, great interview. She's a sweet soul, beautiful person, tenacious, successful, and you can see how her success is so intricate in her loving herself. That's true. A lot of people feel that they love themselves, but they don't. It's like, I love me. You love me. And you say to yourself, you love yourself, but you don't understand why you even do the things that you do. So we want to salute to Tiffany for all the great things that she's done. I hope you all have enjoyed today. Be certain that you follow us on social media. You can follow us on all platforms at Journey Life TV, YouTube, Journey Life TV, Facebook, as well as Instagram. For those of you say, hey, how do I become a part of Reset? It's going to open on January 1, but you can follow us on social media sites and you'll be able to see all the information for that. For those of you who want to go through the 40-day turn up, you'll need a sponsor. And if you don't have a sponsor, we will open up all remaining slots on January 1. So once again, thank you all for this amazing day and for being with us on this Village Chat. We'll see you on the next one. Peace and blessings.